Hello everyone and welcome back to Humble Acres. Today we are going to be rebuilding the FJ engine. So this is a 1F. We got the transmission on here as well and the transfer case. And we're not really rebuilding it, but we are redoing it. We're basically just gonna take a lot of the little components off here, take the distributor, starter, coil, plugs, water pump probably, I suppose, I don't know, we'll see about that one. Thermostat, timing cover, we might leave that one on there. So yeah, we're just going to be taking some of this stuff off and then cleaning it, degreasing it, and then painting it. So this engine, you can see in the, well, one of the videos, it's one of the first ones. We started this before we ripped it out of the frame and everything, and it ran fine. So I don't see really a big need to tear the head off or anything like that. It wasn't smoking or anything at that point. I am probably going to take the intake and exhaust manifold off. Take the carburetor off. This carburetor, I don't think I've rebuilt this. I'm pretty sure I haven't, yeah. So this is an original Toyota Asian carburetor. So we are going to be using this. This isn't the original one for this engine. I'm not really sure what carburetor would have been on here, but this engine is newer than what the frame is and what the body is, but it should work fine. I would like to figure out a different adapter for this because this isn't original, obviously. So it'd be nice to figure something else out. It's also not on there very good, and it looks like that bolt's been broke off, so that'll be fun. So yeah, let's just tear this down. We also have some freeze plugs that have been put in backwards, so I don't know how somebody could have messed that up, but they did. Yeah, I guess I don't know if the head gasket leaks at all because I didn't have coolant in this at all. I don't know. That's stuff that we will learn once it's all packed together, and if there is something wrong, like if the clutch is bad or something like that, we'll address it at that time. Like, we can rip it back out if we have to. It's not the end of the world. So let's start tearing this down. Alright, that's pretty much everything off of the engine. I kind of got everything that I think I'm going to take off anyway. So it looks good. We'll probably take the side cover off and clean it as well, but we'll put it back on for paint. So I did get a new gasket for this as well. Transmission, let's see. I'm probably going to want to take these mounts off, but I feel like most of this is probably gonna stay on here because I just really don't feel like messing with any of this. So yeah, I think that's about it for what we're taking apart. I'm probably gonna take both of the engine mounts off back here. I think that will help a little bit. So let's get these mounts off here, and then I suppose we'll start cleaning it up. think I got this as clean as I'm gonna get it without taking things apart. Problem is the bottom side is gonna be very hard to clean because it's sitting on the floor, and there's not really a good way to hoist it in the air because there's nothing to really hook to. So I think I'm just gonna clean the bottom after I put it back in there, or maybe once I put the mounts and stuff back on, I can hang it up and then kind of wipe underneath it. Yeah, it's looking good. I'm pretty sure this head has been painted though, because it seems like there's a coat of paint on it, but I don't know, it's hard to tell. It really is. But I'm gonna take the valve cover off now. I'm gonna take the side cover off and see what we got behind there, and then it's gonna be easier to clean this side cover when it's off of there as well. And I really need to clean up around here a little bit more. It's just very tough to get in there. All right, got the nuts off there. Let's see what we got in here. There's a gasket on there. That gasket actually might, oh no, it's cracked down here at this end. So I was thinking it might be fine. It actually looks like they were having the same problem I was with the other one. They couldn't get it to stretch on there all right, and it looks like they just cut the ends of it. So that's probably why there was some leaking going on. Wow, this looks really clean in here. So that's good. It doesn't look very oily, but that's probably because, I mean, there is oil pooled in there, but yeah, it looks really clean actually. This is really good. Let's get this side cover off of here. There's always rust on that one. Why is there always rust on that one? Why does that one always get rust? That is so weird. So weird. This back one just really likes to rust. I think it'll be fine. There's not much rust on it. And I'm sure it's not stuck. I did get a new gasket for this because that is really hard. Yeah, that's gonna be real fun to get off there. So I'm gonna get this off, clean it all up. I have been scrubbing at this for quite some time here. I hand wire brushed everything. Yeah, you can see it is pretty clean. Was able to get pretty much everything, as much as I possibly could anyway. I think it's doing pretty good. Yeah, the front's doing good. This side is looking really good as well. Still got some paint on there, so that's good. But yeah, I think this is good. I even did the bell housing as well. Transmission I'm gonna need to paint too. It's amazing how quickly it flash rusts. So I don't think I'm actually gonna paint the transfer case. It seems to be aluminum and I don't see a need to paint that. I'm sure some people would paint it like silver or something, but I think it will be fine. This top part is also aluminum, but then this down here is cast iron. So bell housing will need to paint. I took the boot off on this side for the clutch there. I got it all masked up here. I think everything that needs to be masked up is good. I kind of masked off the transfer case, so hopefully that'll be all right. I was looking in here though, and that clutch looks like brand new. So I don't know about the surfaces, but holy cow, they look really good. But anyway, I got this all masked off, so we are going to paint this. This is the paint I'm using here. Well, this is for the exhaust manifold, and this is for the intake manifold. And then I have two of these engine enamel ones. They're good for 500. These are good for up to 2,000. So, yep, that's what we're doing. Gonna shake these up and get them on. I'm sure what you guys are gonna think is, wow, that looks professionally done. And how are you going to explain to people that you did this yourself? Because it just looks so good. So I'll find a way to be able to let them know that I actually did do this myself. But yeah, came out pretty good though. Time to get all this stuff off. This is actually the fun part, because you get to see the contrast and how it looked before. Yeah, probably should have done it while it was a little wet still, but we'll get it. There we go. Oh, just gotta get it started. Just gotta get it started, and then it mostly comes off. Kind of. So good. Take off this beautiful mask job here. So professional. Bam. Done. Wow, looks so good. That came out really nice. I really like that. So we still have the oil pan to do, but we will get that done. Oh, we got the fuel pump spot here. Perfect. I'll clean that up as well. And we'll clean this up, and the VIN number we can actually probably, or not the VIN number, but the number for the engine we can probably just leave, because you can actually still read it on there. So that'll be good. Perfect. So what I'm gonna do now, that's kind of pretty much done. I think we're gonna head over and work on this. So this manifold, the exhaust manifold, has had some work done to it, you can see, and looks pretty shoddy. I don't know, that doesn't really look like it was leaking, but it's really hard to say. We're gonna try to take this apart, which it does look like there's new bolts in there at least. So that's something. We'll have to see if that other one on the other side is new. And then we're gonna clean this up, and then we're gonna paint both of these with these high heat paints. So this will be the exhaust, this will be the intake. And that'll just really spruce them up nice. And then we need to clean this carburetor, get it all good, and then we'll go from there. So let's tear these apart, get them down to their base manifolds, and then we'll go from there. Alright, so we have a stuck bolt right here. One of the best ways to get these out is to put a nut on there and then weld the nut to it. So that's what I'm going to do. I actually want to get a little bigger one though, so it can actually fit around it. Just whatever bolt you have laying around, that one fits all the way around it, so that'll work out good. Just set it on there, weld the middle. Alright, so we got our nut on there, it's ground, and then we just weld the center. It also heats the bolt up. So now what we need to do, we just need to find a wrench. 14 maybe? Yep. And then hopefully we can break it out of there. It's coming now. There we go. Got out all of it. It wasn't even that long, but it is clear. Bingo bango. Got out. And the threads look really good too. So that's a bonus. Alright, well, we got all apart. This bolt came right out. The one I had a hard time on the other one is this one here. So yeah, that came right out, which is really nice. You can actually reuse it. The other bolts that go in from the bottom here have been replaced. They look definitely newer and they're like a grade 8. So that's good. Yeah, other than that, we just need to clean this up and it's good. And the exhaust manifold, you can see I was trying for a while to free this up, but I don't think that's going to happen. And quite honestly, it doesn't matter. So I might actually break this little flapper thing off in here because it's, you know, just not necessary. And then I want to grind this down a little bit and try to make it look a little better. It almost looks like they welded it instead of brazing it, so I don't know how that's gonna work, but probably just gonna grind it down, try to make it look better, and hopefully there's something there when we're done. And then we'll get them cleaned up and then we'll paint them. So. I got that cleaned up as much as possible anyway. Hopefully it doesn't leak, I don't know. So we'll just assume it doesn't and move on. Alright, so I left the intake manifold in my parts washer here overnight to try to get it to get cleaned up better. I was getting a little sick of scrubbing it so much, so I was hoping just leaving it sitting there would actually help more. So let's get it cleaned out. Shove that down in there. Let's clean it off and see how it looks. It doesn't really look much different. It's hard for grime to come off after sitting for so long. Might be as good as we're gonna get. So I don't think I'm going to put this in there because everything's pretty much burned off of already. So we're just gonna wipe it down, make sure it's clean, and get these painted. Alright, I wired brushed this all down and wiped it down with some acetone. So now we're going to put some high heat Rust-Oleum paint on it. It should be good to go. Let's see how this works. Alright, I got these up here drying. That looks really nice. This should dry a flat black color, and I assume this will dry flat as well. Not 100% sure about that, but they're looking good. That's gonna really make a big difference on the engine. I need to rebuild this carburetor and get it all cleaned up before we put it back on there. But the problem is, I don't have the rebuild kit for it yet. So I think we're gonna have to wait on that. I ordered it last night and I just kind of kept putting it off. Also, the intake manifold gasket, I got a new one from Toyota coming, but I haven't gotten that yet. I did, however, get my side cover gasket, or no, that's the valve cover gasket, and a side cover gasket from Toyota. So I have those we can put on, so I suppose we'll just do that next. Alright, I got all the spark plugs put in there. I also got all my paper towels out of here from plugging those holes up. It's kind of a pain to get these started because the gasket doesn't want to actually sit where you need it. Where are we at here? I got it flipped around. Okay. Like that. Okay, let's see if we can get one started here. Alright, there's those started. Looks like the bottom ones are kind of lining up. Just a matter of... I think we're doing good. I think they're all lining up now. That's on, looks good. We might need to cinch them down a little bit more, but for now, we're gonna call that good. So let's get the valve cover one done. All I've got to say about this valve cover gasket is that it definitely pays to get a factory Toyota one because they fit perfectly. You don't have to try to stretch them. They are the correct size and it's pain-free. The one I took off here, you could definitely tell it wasn't one of the originals because they had to cut it to get it to work right, and that's also probably why it was leaking, because these ones just don't fit. They're not long enough and they're garbage. Don't buy them. I don't know the brand of them, but just go to Toyota and get it. It's honestly maybe a couple dollars more, but the quality is so much better. That's the part number. Just go buy it. It's way better. So I don't know about the side cover. You probably can get those aftermarket too, but just go to Toyota. Like I said, they're not much more and the quality is so much better. So I'm gonna get some silicone sealer, put it on the bottom of this on the valve cover, and then put this on. That way it kind of sticks it to the valve cover, and then we'll put it on, and that way whenever you take the valve cover off, the gasket comes with it and it works out really nice. So I'm gonna get that done real quick. I'm actually going to clean this off first because there was some on there before. Get this cleaned off and then we'll do that and then we'll get it put on there. Alright, got our new gasket on there. Let's get this sat on here. Hopefully I'm not forgetting anything. Sure I am. There we go. Get these nuts, get those tightened down, and we should be good to go. Alright, so first of all, we need to talk about these freeze plugs here. So I was talking with my dad, and apparently these are put in correctly. You can see there's a little dimple in the middle of them. Apparently they go in and then you hammer the center of them and then that expands the outside to seal them. So I got some new ones here and they looked very strange to me. And they're very thick as well, and they don't look like this one at all, if you can see that. So these are done correctly, and so there's no need to replace them. I just wanted to clarify that because I know I was talking about how they are not right, but they are correct. So there is no need to take them out and replace them with new ones. But I did get some new ones, so I will save them for some other project that may need them eventually down the road. So anyway, let's get to putting this back on. I did get the manifold gasket now, so let's put that together. I got that gasket in there and I got all the bolts started, so we just need to tighten them down now. Let's take this over and get this put on. I don't have the carburetor done yet. Still waiting for my rebuild kit to come, so we will move forward. I did not put this bracket back on. It goes right here because this doesn't work anyway, so who needs that? Let's go get this put on. First, we have our gasket here, which looks like it goes on like that. It appears. Seems right. And this will go on. Perfect. Let's get some bolts or nuts, I guess. Maybe I should try to straighten that real quick. Let's put this nice one down here, and then we'll put it up here. It would have been nice just to find new ones, but tell you, the reason these things take so long when you're trying to do it right is stuff like this. Like if I want to find an authentic like brass nut or just find a brass nut in general, my local hardware store is not going to have that. So you have to go online, order it, or go through Toyota, but they'll have to order it as well. And it just takes a long time. That's why this has been 2 weeks probably since the last video. It's just waiting on parts and stuff is what takes the longest of anything. So I'm gonna go tap this with a thread. I'm gonna go tap this with a tap, and then we'll get this put on here. Hopefully it won't strip out. Probably will because there's not much thread left, but it'll be fine. Thread's on, but like it's loose on there. It's probably not gonna tighten down much. So yeah, awesome. Let's get a socket, tighten these up as much as we can. Tightened up fairly decent. Can't complain about that. Should probably tighten them all down kind of evenly just so. Sorry if I'm blocking your view. Yeah, it's going in there. It was really close. It was just a little off. Seated. Looks like it might be. No, it doesn't want to go on. There it goes. Where's this one? Alright, that one's in. This one is cracked, so probably not going to tighten much. Yeah, you can feel it just kind of give way. Ugh. Great. Well, we can definitely get some of these new and change them out later. It's not hard to get to these after it's all on and everything, so probably what we'll end up doing because these are not great. I did get this engine mount all done and painted. It is cleaned up really nice, and we just have 3 more of them to do. So I did all this off camera, but I wire wheeled the whole thing and got it all cleaned up, got all the grease off, and then I painted it with that engine enamel. So came out really nice. Even the bolts came out honestly like brand new. So that's really cool. But now we still have all this stuff that we need to go through. So that's a new part we don't need. This is the original intake manifold gasket, which we don't need. Shocks, we're gonna have to get new ones because those are junk. Got a water pump here I'm gonna clean up and paint. This is a brake line, which we most likely won't be using because I'm gonna have to redo all the brakes. which reminds me I need to buy some brake line. Fan we need to repaint. I need to figure out an orange color for that. That we'll just need to clean up because it's carburetor stuff. Starter we're just going to clean up. I don't know if I'll paint or not because it has this nice like label on it, so it was working fine, so we're not going to mess with it. But yeah, we probably should do something with that at least. That needs to be cleaned up, put back on. That's for the oil filter thing, or the oil fill. Let's see, what is this? Oh, that's the coil. That probably won't be messed with. The distributor, we'll just clean that up. That should be fine. Here's one of them. Let me clean that. Let's find all of our engine mounts. Here's another one. Another one there. We got one more somewhere. Is that it? There we go. Alright. So I'm going to clean all these up, paint them, and then we'll probably be back after I get that done. Alright, and just like that, they're all done. I didn't paint the bolts, but I got them basically like brand new. But yeah, all the mounts came out nice, so they're going to dry. And we got the other one over here that I already did. So we'll get those on. And then I also painted a couple of the little brackets here. So I have those hanging over here drying. But that's all I have time for today, so we'll see you tomorrow. Alright, so I've decided that I am going to get the engine put back on the frame now. There's a lot of things I need to button up with it, but I need to get the oil pan off. I need to drain the oil, get the oil pan off so I can redo that. And it's just going to be way easier while it's sitting in the frame here. So we're going to get the engine mounts back on the engine. I got all those painted here, as you saw in the last clip, I think. And so we're going to get those put back on the engine, and then we're just going to set it back in the frame here and get it bolted down, and we should be good to go. Alright, I got all these mounts put on. I hope they're the correct way. It seems logically that this is the way they would go, but who knows? I may be wrong, but I'm sure they will work just fine how they are. Put this one put on over here as well. So yeah, the engine's pretty much back in. Now we just have to add all the accessories. I'm still waiting for the gasket set for the carburetor. And yeah, I'm gonna probably get some new hoses for the oil filter. And let's see, we probably need to get a oil pressure sensor as well, one of the stock ones, which I might try to just steal one off of the other engine. There's a chance it might have one maybe, I don't really know. But yeah, this is back in and it's looking good. Everything went very smoothly, as you could see. So yeah, I also got this stuff back on. I got this bracket, I got the chain all cleaned up and put back on. So everything's looking good there. I got the fuel pump on with new gasket, so that's done. Need to clean up the distributor, put that on. We need to drain the oil, take the oil pan off, clean it up. I have a gasket ordered for that. I just am waiting for it. And yeah, that's pretty much what we need to do there. I also have a bracket for the steering box that goes here. It's actually supposed to be riveted on here, but I don't know what happened to the one that was here. So I stole it off the 71 junk one. So we're gonna get that bolted on there, and then we'll have a spot for the steering box. So that'll be good. So yeah, I think that's gonna be it for this video. Hope you enjoyed, and we'll see you in the next one.